Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruben Gonzalez. I'm with Riverside County, and welcome to the 2nd District's Nonprofit Assistance Fund, an informational workshop. Just want to walk through a couple of housekeeping issues before we get started. One, first of all, again, thank you for your participation. So just a couple of housekeeping. One is please make sure that your phones are on silence. Bathroom and emergency exits are to your rear. Please be courteous to others in your space. And then if you can hold your questions for both United Way and the Inland Empire Community Foundation, who will be presenting, then we'll do the Q&A after. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Supervisor Karen Spiegel, who's going to provide some opening remarks, and she has been a relentless champion and leader and advocate for nonprofits, not only in the 2nd District, but throughout the county. Supervisor?
Good morning. Am I on? Oh. Thank you all for being here. Today is about you. It's about you and your organization and some opportunities that we hope are going to be available and that we can walk you through it. Sometimes it seems more complicated, or we make it more complicated. I know that when I fill out forms, sometimes you make it 10 times harder than it needs to be. But we have people here that want to help you, and that's what today's all about, is helping you. So make sure that you take copious notes, even if it's a note to say, I need to ask this question. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a little brain fog, and you get up to somebody to ask the questions, and you forget what questions you were going to ask. Write your questions down so that you'll be able to answer those. And there's going to be a lot of folks here to be able to answer yours. And I just want to thank Heidi and her team. Heidi Marshall, who has a rather large team. I couldn't go into all the different areas that she covers, but nonprofits is under her purview. And of course, Ruben introduced himself, and there's many others here. If it wasn't for the leadership of Heidi and Ruben, these opportunities wouldn't be here, because they're the ones that have the expertise, the knowledge, and the information that you're all here to get. So again, thank you for being here. It's about you, it's about your organizations, and it's about some money that we have available. We're not going to tease you and say, come and listen. There is money available. They're going to share the ways that your nonprofits can have that opportunity. So take your notes, and Ruben, I'm going to hand this back over to you.
Quickly walk through the Nonprofit Assistance Fund and also the Nonprofit Roundtable. Both Jessica and Denisha will be able to share a lot more details as part of their presentation. And I don't know where the slides went. Oh, there they are. So once again, the primary funding objective is to provide nonprofits who are serving within the 2nd District with the necessary help to build capacity and to recover from COVID. To date, there's been, through the first round, there's been over $1 million invested in nonprofits throughout the 1st District, and there's been almost close to 11 million that was invested in throughout the county. We do have a remaining balance of $223,000, and so that's what we wanted to talk to you all about. United Way and also the Community Foundation are not only going to share funding opportunities through the Nonprofit Assistance Fund, but they'll also be sharing additional funding opportunities through both of their organizations. As mentioned, the Riverside County, the Board of Supervisors made an unprecedented investment in supporting nonprofits using ARPA dollars. They invested close to $16 million to support nonprofits in 3 key areas. So one was focused on direct financial support, the other was programmatic funding, and the third was technical assistance. Both Denisha and also Jessica will be sharing a little bit more detail, so it's hard to read about the two, both the direct financial support and programmatic funding. Nonprofits are eligible to apply for up to 150,000 for programmatic and another 150,000 for direct or for programmatic and another 150 for direct financial support. But the one thing I wanted to spend some time, because we think this is critically important, is that there are opportunities for you all to consider. And these are really more focused on technical assistance programming. So, and what we will do is we'll provide, if you give us your card in the back, we'll send you the whole list of nonprofit, or the technical assistance that we can provide to you. Let me see if we can get back onto that. And we have an organization called the RAP Foundation. But some of the topics that are coming up are how to get your nonprofit board to fundraise, best practices in high-performing nonprofits, building funder relationships, how effectively can we do our storytelling, and then also there's a number of different opportunities through the grassroots organizations for a fundraising academy, and then there are a couple of other different courses on HR compliance and communication and conflict. Building the capability and capacity of nonprofits is a central piece to the Nonprofit Assistance Fund. And then I'm going to share a little bit more about the Nonprofit Roundtable. So the Nonprofit Roundtable really plays three key roles, and it's to advise both the Board of Supervisors and all the departments on policy, funding, and partnerships that impact the nonprofit sector. This is a unique opportunity. The vast majority of county do not have this type of formal public nonprofit partnership. And there's really three key areas. One is to ensure that we're expanding financial support. Riverside County does not receive its fair share of federal, state, and philanthropic dollars. And so it's important for us to be continuing to advocate and champion our nonprofits. The also piece is also to look at looking at collective impact through working on large-scale different initiatives that are complementary and help to move not only the priorities of our nonprofits, but also our departments together. The largest funder, we suspect, of the nonprofits are the various county departments through contracts and grants. So it's important for all of our departments to be working collectively with our nonprofit partners. The roundtable consists of 30 different executive directors who were selected by the Board of Supervisors. We are in the process of making some determination about how we might look to include additional nonprofits. And again, these nonprofits are varied, and they reflect all the different 5 districts within the county, and they're also varied in terms of their focus and priority. The last slide, and I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, is really the purpose. So the primary purpose is really, and I think the supervisor alluded to this earlier, is really to ensure that you have all the necessary information to be able to submit a successful application. There are additional funding opportunities that we'll be looking to in the future, both with state and philanthropic folks. And so just know that if you do see an opportunity that you think you would like to apply for, then we would love to be able to talk to you and see if we can be supportive. I would say one of the other goals for us is that we have joined what's called the Inland Empire Funders Alliance. And part of our goal is to also see if we can get additional philanthropic dollars to support the region. A good example of the lack of investment from philanthropy, per capita in San Francisco, it's about $1,200 per person. In Riverside, it's about $16 to $18 per person. So the level of investment is pretty poor. So our goal is to really look at ways in which we can continue to advocate and champion nonprofits to be able to be successful. And if you have any questions for me, I'll definitely be available throughout the day, and I'm going to turn it over to Jessica from United Way.
Thanks, Ruben. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you all here today. And thank you to the county and Supervisor Spiegel for letting us be a part of this project. It's been great getting to know a lot more nonprofits in the community and be able to go a little farther to help you build your capacity and resiliency long-term to continue serving more in the region. All right, so I'm Jessica with Inland SoCal 211 Plus, a subsidiary of Inland SoCal United Way, and we are administering the direct financial support and assistance grants. So that's what I'll be going over briefly today. Overview, this is competitive grant opportunities specifically designed to help nonprofits in serving District 2 that were impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in Riverside County. Applications are open today, the 15th. They'll be open for a month through May 15th. And then we have a tentative timeline. We try to go as quickly as possible, but hopefully determinations in June with payments going out in July. I believe the grant period will be for 12 months, going back a little bit. So your probably questions, what are the eligible nonprofits? So if you are a 501c3 or 501c19 that is serving Riverside County District 2, in operation prior to 1/1/2020, so prior to the pandemic starting, and you must be an impacted nonprofit. So there are several ways that we can help prove that you meet this criteria. One, if you have a location in a qualifying census tract. And if you're not sure what that is, again, we can help you determine if you meet and qualify based on that criteria. Or if not, you may still be eligible, but we'll have to do financial impact with documents. So again, if you're not quite sure, you want to reach out to us. We'll help you identify what documents will help show your impact. You will need to spend funding in compliance with the SLFRF final rule. And you must be in good standing with all federal, state, and local entities. So this is also going to include the California Attorney General's Office, or the DOJ, and the Secretary of State. So grant awards will vary, but they will be up to $150,000 per organization. Reporting, there will be quarterly narrative and expense reporting that will be required. And the fun part, okay, how can the money be spent? One of the great things is this funding is very broad. It's meant to help improve your organization's success, resiliency, and capacity long term. So this can go for general operating expenses, which a lot of times is not available through programmatic funding, but it is an eligible expense here, as well as unrecouped revenue loss or increased costs. Or if you have something else that you want to spend it on that's not explicitly listed as ineligible, let us know. It very likely could be for you to spend. And then next, I will not go over all of these, but there are, specific ineligible expenses that you can see here. No rainy day funds, no pensions, no Ferraris, things like that. Probably self-explanatory, not things you would think to spend anyway, but just so you are aware. And of course, the funding is meant to help Riverside County, specifically District 2. So if you are receiving funding, you'll need to spend it for that purpose, not out of the area. Okay, so documents that are going to be required, basically this is just to prove your qualifications, that you meet the criteria. So proof of your nonprofit status, your IRS determination letter. You will need to provide us with the Attorney General's office. Your status there should be current. So again, if you, a little bit later on, we'll explain this, and we're also available to help you one-on-one as well. If you're not current and you need to get that fixed for applying, you can reach out to us. We have some local office contact information that might help you. Proof of your COVID baseline, so some sort of financial documents, preferably your 990 from before COVID hit, and then your, oops, I went too far. Can we go back a slide real quick? Okay, thank you. Proof that your financial impact during COVID. So whatever your documents are after COVID hit that will show it, preferably 990s. A lot of the time you can just compare those and you'll see the loss. If not, audited financial statements, your P&L out of your accounting software, sometimes you can see it in there a little better, but we're here to help with that. So please don't, if you're getting a little overwhelmed, let us know. We'll help you make it as easy as possible. Of course, your board of directors roster, and disclaimer, sometimes we need additional verification documents on a case-by-case basis. So if you're qualifying based on your location in a qualified census tract, we may need to get a little bit more proof that you do operate there as you say you do. Or if you've had a name change across the years, we might need an additional document that verifies your name change. But, okay, so that's, as I said, brief overview. Here's the QR code and the link to the request for applications that's online. So again, everything I went over is going to be there, all of the links. So if you need to check the DOJ, the SOS, any of the qualified census tracts, things like that, the links will be there. Also, thumbs up whenever. I'll wait for everyone's phones to go down so I know you've all reserved that. So when you get to this page, we do have some tools to help you. So again, the request for applications in detail, more information is there. We do also have a recorded detailed walkthrough of the request for applications and the application itself if you want to get a little more info. If you click on it and go to YouTube, you can jump through to different sections. So if you need to just go to a certain section, what's a QCT, how do I find that? You can jump there. If you need to go back and review something, we tried to make it as easy as possible. We also have our email on the page, and we'll have a button to book virtual appointments. So if you want to schedule some one-on-one time to go through things. And we also have a pre-screener there. So sometimes reading all the information gets a little confusing. You just want to go, is this a good match or not? Do I spend my time on this or not? We do have some pre-screen questions for you to kind of help you determine if you might be a good fit so you can continue, or maybe you're not a good fit and your time would be better spent on another opportunity. And lastly, the biggest thing we want you to know is we are here to help you. We are very open. We want you to reach out to us. We want questions. We want to schedule time with you because our goal is not only with this grant, but with other grant opportunities. We want you to be better prepared in the future to continue to go out there. As Ruben said, we're historically underfunded in this region. So the more we can help each other be in a better position to go out there and seek future dollars, the more it's going to help the community as a whole. So if you do go to our website, iscuw.org/grants, in the future, moving forward, we have all of our current opportunities will be listed there, and you can get more information on what's open. They kind of change from time to time, funder to funder. So please just periodically check there. We also are piloting a nonprofit academy. So again, our website /NPA. We do have right now grant writing workshops that are just a general grant writing workshop, not for this grant specifically, but in general, coming up on April 23rd and 25th. So if you're interested, you can register in that. We also might have some upcoming specialized workshops like on project budgets or reporting and tracking and things like that that will be coming forward. So again, you can stay up to date with that page. And lastly, again, if you have any questions about this opportunity specifically, or you just want to get on our interest list where we'll notify you whenever we have, new opportunities that come up in the future, you can email grantapplicants@iscuw.org. Yeah, so it's a nonprofit academy. So we have funding where it's really our goal to strengthen the nonprofit community that's here in Riverside so that you're better prepared to go into getting grants from abundance of sources, especially County of Riverside. As I said, they have a lot of contracts with a lot of different organizations, and sometimes breaking into that can be a little overwhelming or confusing. So we want to be able to help understand how to do that for, whether it's a local contract with the county, if it's other grants from other funders out of the area. So it is in development. Like I said, right now we have the grant writing workshop is our next one that's scheduled at the end of April, but it will be changing and evolving as we see what are the needs, what do you want. We want to be responsive to what's going to be the most beneficial and helpful to you in the long term. All right, and I think that's for me. So Denisha, then the Net Bear Community Foundation.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jessica. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you, Heidi and Ruben and the team, and Supervisor Spiegel for giving the Inland Empire Community Foundation this opportunity to talk about District 2 and the funds that we have available to reopen. And what we're doing, which is a little bit different, and we have the opportunity to do, is look at those grant applications that didn't get funded the first round. So sometimes as funders and application opportunities come in, we review, and those that didn't make it, boom, you're cut. Sorry. But with this opportunity, we have the goal in mind is to go back and look at those applications that didn't submit certain items that were requested, some supplemental documents that was required. For instance, we had a nonprofit that didn't submit their IRS tax letter. We know they have the IRS tax letter. They've been previous grantees of our other grant opportunities. So little things like that, where the first round we were eager and wanting to get the funds out in selections, where this time around we're taking a little bit more extra time to look at those applicants again that didn't make it and work with those nonprofits as far as what they were missing, what they were lacking, and give them that one-on-one opportunity. So with that, we aren't open as of yet. We are taking this opportunity to relook at some applications. We've already made some touch points with some of the nonprofits that weren't selected the first round. So be on the lookout. If you're in this room and applied and didn't get funded the first time around, we will be connecting with you for follow-up with regards to what you need for this second time for funding. And with that, I did want to talk about our other funding opportunities that we do have. Elizabeth and Ruben wanted me to share out just what we do at the Community Foundation, and for District 2, what we have available for you within this region and this area. So I'm going to jump right into that. Give you a little hot topics. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wendy Williams. Hot topics, how you doing? But just wanted to let you know who we are as a community foundation, what we do, our areas of funding by program, as well as our grant opportunities and our contact information. So with that, we've been around for 80 plus years. Charles Browse founded the Community Foundation, started out as scholarship funding that he did for students that were here in the region attending RCC. And from that, we went into the Community Foundation back in 2000. And then by excuse me guys, I should have worn my glasses, 2019, we switched over to the Inland Empire Community Foundation, where we are serving both counties, Riverside and San Bernardino County. So we service the vast region of this Inland Empire. And so we have offices in Riverside as our main office, as well as San Bernardino, as well as Coachella Valley. With that, some of the things that we do at ICF is we raise funds and work with our donors, as well as steward those funds, invest those funds, we advocate, and we also lead as co-conveners within this region coming together. I know Ruben mentioned the Inland Empire Funders Alliance, where we co-convene with other funders within the region to find out what are the needs, what are we doing, and how we can help build and support and uplift our region with supporting our nonprofits. Next slide. So this is kind of like our funding area, what we assets that we have, our total gifts that we gave out last year as well. Well, 22, 23, we just finished our audit for 2023, going into 2024. But we have these as our outgo of what we do fund, and you can see our program areas as far as health, education, civic and environmental interest as far as children, advocacy, others, and arts and cultures. So that just kind of gives you some dollar amounts as to where and how much donors give within the region towards these certain programs within the areas of, again, like I said, education, health, environmental, arts, all that great stuff. So just kind of an overview of how we did and what we do. All right, here's the good stuff. Our grant opportunities. So Idlewild Fund is strictly for Idlewild folks. So if you know any nonprofits up in the mountain area, we do have funding opportunities for those folks in Idlewild. They just ended their application as of April the 12th. And so that just recently closed, and it does reopen again every year around March. So if you know of any folks, or if you're in Idlewild, doubt you guys are in Idlewild, but if you know of any nonprofits in Idlewild, definitely you want to reach out to them and let them know of this opportunity. Our Community Impact Fund, that's going to be opening up within the next month or two. And basically, that focus is on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're doing things a little bit different this year with regards to that particular grant opportunity. We have some things that we're talking about as far as vital conditions. I don't know if you guys have been hearing about that. Belonging, civic engagement. So that's kind of where we're headed with that specific grant opportunity. And you're going to hear more about that as I'm going to give you a plug on how to find out where that grant is in a few minutes. But that's another grant that's going to be opening this year within the next couple of months. So I want to drive you guys to our Facebook page because that's where all of our grant opportunities are kind of popped up first. You'll get it firsthand from our Facebook page. I'll land you to our grant page as far as giving you that information, but Facebook is really good about letting you guys know what's happening right now, what's going on, what's current, and gives you the website, how to get to our page and all that great stuff. Our field of interest is actually closing today, April 15th at 5 p.m. So I don't know if you want to scurry out of here and hop on your computers, but we have our field of interest that's closing today. And that has 3 separate funds within that fund, and I have my cheat sheet because I want to get it right for you guys. So we have our Rock World Fund that's primarily focused for residents that live in Paris Valley, or Paris, California, I should say. We have our Seraphim Fund that's in that field of interest that talks and works with our economically disadvantaged victims of domestic violence and those suffering from physical or mental illness or substance abuse. There's another fund within that called our Stabler Fund, and that works with children of Riverside County with a strong emphasis with special needs. So children with special needs that are in the Riverside County. And our last one is our Tucker Fund, which works with persons with disability as far as dependent on use of wheelchair for mobility. So those nonprofits that work with our disabled population that have wheelchairs and need of wheelchairs, that's what the Tucker Fund is for. So with the field of interest, there's 3 opportunities listed there. Within that opportunity, you can apply for all 3 if you meet all 3. I think you probably only meet 2 because the other one is for Paris, California. But the other 2 opportunities you possibly can qualify for. And again, that does close today at 5 p.m. It is an online grant opportunity, so please feel free to take advantage of that. Our next few funds that I want to talk about is our Signature Fund, which is our Women's Giving Fund, which is a fund tailored strictly for women who have nonprofits within the region that's serving women. And so that just recently closed on April the 9th, but it opens every year. So if you are a nonprofit that works with women and have programs tailored around women, this is an excellent fund that you can qualify for. We also have our Cielo Fund, which is a fund strictly uplifting and supporting our Latino nonprofits within the region. So and they just closed their nonprofit opportunity about 2 weeks ago as well. But again, it opens every year. So just want to put this on your radar so you guys know ahead of time. If you want to go on our website, kind of look it up to see what you need to prepare for in order to qualify. I strongly advise that. But our Cielo Fund is for our Latino nonprofits within the region, serving Latinos within the region as well. We also have our Black Equity Fund that we house there, and this is another fund that works with our African American community nonprofits, our Black-led nonprofits, supporting them and uplifting them up in the region as well. And they have their own grant cycle, but we do house their fund and does the back-end support of their fund, but we do outsource and also let you guys know and publicize their opportunities as well. And last but not least, one grant that's close to my heart, which I oversee, is our Youth Grant Makers program. And that's a program for young people that's interest in studying philanthropy, and we do a grant-making process with them as well. And so this is a nonprofit opportunity for those who have youth-oriented programs within the region. We have a grant opportunity that we're putting out within the next month. So ours is coming out the 1st of May, and it's for youth-oriented programs within the 2-county region, San Bernardino and Riverside County. And our youth look over those grants and make their own decisions. So it's a really cool technique and really cool process. With these grant opportunities, the funding award amounts kind of vary. As you guys heard for Riverside County Nonprofit Assistance, that was $150,000. So with that was a lot of funding, which is great because not a lot of times we get that much as far as nonprofits being able to grant those awards. But that's one of 150,000. Ours kind of range between 15,000 to 20,000. Is our probably 10-ish, 10,000 to about 25,000 or so is where our max award comes in with our grant opportunities. When we do get these specialty grant opportunities, as far as working with the county or with the state, sometimes their award amounts are bigger, and we're able to give more according to how they fund. But with ours specifically, it is around 10 to 25,000. Some collaborative grant-making efforts that I just kind of touched on really quick was ARPA, which we collaborated with the county, and we were really excited about that. We also worked with the state as far as Creative Core. They had an arts funding opportunity within the region that was really significant, and we were able to help a lot of arts nonprofits in the two-county region through that grant, so that was really awesome. We have our Inland Empire Funders Alliance, which is what Ruben mentioned. Right now, we have a grant opportunity. I serve on the advisory board of the Funders Alliance in the collaborative grant-making network. I am the leader of that network, and right now we have an opportunity open for civic engagement, where right now we're in the political season, a lot is happening, and so right now we want to educate our community as to what's going on, what's happening, let them know as far as bills and legislation and all that great stuff. So if you are a nonprofit and you're into politics, groundwork, all that great stuff, education, we do have a grant opportunity that's open. If you want to come see me, I can give you my card and kind of guide you where that link is, but that is a current opportunity that is open right now. Last but not least, I did touch on our Black Equity Fund as well. They have various grant opportunities. We work with them as far as the community and getting their funds out within the region. I know I'm going super duper fast, but last but not least, this is where you can find us. We're literally downtown, right across from the Mission Inn. And then, like I said, there's our 3 offices. Our website, www.iegives.org, is our website. You can go on there, go to nonprofits, and then grant resources, grant opportunities, and it'll give you a list of all of our open grants and closed grants that are available. But definitely, like I said, if you guys just want to click on those grants just to kind of see what we're looking for, I advise that. So by the time they open up next year, you guys are ready and know what to do and what to submit. With that, thank you so much for this opportunity, and that's all, folks.
Like the supervisor mentioned at the beginning, this is your time. We wanted to provide just a brief introductory information on the different funding opportunities. Our hope is to be able to answer as many questions you may possibly have. Also, the technical assistance opportunities, we're passing around information. And if you have any interest in applying and participating, please join. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica and Denisha for any questions that you all might have.
Hello there. I'm Terry Davis. I'm a clinical psychologist, so I do a lot of mental health work. And as you know, we're in a mental health crisis. I have a new nonprofit. My nonprofit is largely interested in Black maternal mental health. And we recently submitted something to the CIV. Am I saying that correctly? The CID grant. I didn't hear it mentioned today, but if you, do you know what I'm talking about? Is that a thing? The CID, yes. I didn't hear that mentioned today, and you all look a little puzzled. So, wanted to thank you.
The CID is a grant opportunity. Oh, here you go, Debbie.
Thanks, Heidi. Hi, my name is Debbie Rose. I'm with Supervisor Spiegel's office. And yes, the CID grant is a grant that exists. That's within each of the supervisorial offices. So you'd apply to the supervisor's office. So for us, that'd be to Supervisor Spiegel's office. And it's separate from these funds, but it is also available to you.
I was by the deer in the headlights look. You're totally good.
Hi there. First off, thank you guys so much for doing this. Amazing. My name is Tanai. I'm the CEO of the Childhood Drowning Prevention Foundation. And I have a couple of questions. First, for you, for the Riverside County Nonprofit Assistance Fund, you were talking about that we have to be in existence since January 1st, 2020. My question for you is, if we were in existence before that, but we were not in a nonprofit structure, but switched to nonprofit, like on that date, literally it was on that date, would we still qualify?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Because we were Big Kahuna Swim Academy before, but Big Kahuna Swim Academy is our swim program, and that we just changed our structure from sole proprietor to nonprofit.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be. Of course, I can't guarantee everything across the board, but we would just have to probably take some sort of financial from before and after. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then my next question is for you. um, where is it? I think you answered this, but for, I just want to make sure, for the like community impact fund, the field of interest, no, the field of interest, that one, you said we can apply for multiple ones, right? If we
So
want to?
within that fund, so if
Yeah.
you work with children,
Yeah.
and you also work with the disabled population, you can apply for the Stabler and the See It From fund.
Yeah.
So you can apply for the multiple funds.
Okay, yeah, because we work with students, children with disabilities,
Nice.
on the spectrum, Down syndrome,
Nice.
cerebral palsy, you name it, we've worked with them. So
Okay, hop on that grant.
awesome. Thank you so much.
I think we have a question up here. Yes, we'll send out, if everyone signed up, so we'll send you an email with all the slides. Question over here in the back.
I just have two quick questions. I have a ministry here, and my interest is in foster kids. And just a quick question: do we get a copy of these slides? Forgive me if you already said it.
Yes,
before.
we'll
Okay,
send
great.
it to you.
The second question is: do you look for a particular time frame that the organizations have had to be established? Like, because my nonprofit is fairly new, so I'm just wondering how long should we have been established?
Part of we've been looking at the final rule right now, and there's a little bit of leeway in terms of just the time frame. So as long as you can articulate an impact
Sure.
that COVID created, then I think that's something that we can explore. And again, each nonprofit is going to be individually different, so but we can do that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Other questions? There's questions in the back.
Hi, my name is Danny Kimball. We've been with a veterans group that's been basically advocacy for a lot of veterans that don't get the assistance they need. So we kind of get together. The group decided to just now to incorporate into a nonprofit. So we're in the middle of completing that now. What are the time frames for openings for grants for groups that would do what we're doing for advocacy towards assisting veterans?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We do have a Veterans Fund
Okay.
that we just kind of relaunched again as one of our signature funds. And so we're hoping within this year or so to get some movement with grant opportunities for that.
Okay.
So again, I would guide you to our Facebook as well as our website
Okay.
for those opportunities, and then that'll kind of guide you and list you and let you know. And hopefully it'll be a continuum, but we have reignited our Veterans Fund, so definitely be on the lookout for that opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And I would add that also the county has a myriad of different funding opportunities. Veterans obviously are a priority. So whether it's veterans that were formerly incarcerated or veterans who are housing insecure, there's a number of different grants and funding opportunities for agencies like yours. And we'll exchange information, and I can follow up and send you that
Thank you.
all that. I think there's two in the back.
Hi, my name is Yvette, and I'm from Over You Ministry. I'm actually new to the nonprofit. I do a prison ministry for reentry programs for men who are incarcerated to get back. So I'm not quite sure how this works, but if you guys can help me with funding for it, so we do, it's basically like we're preparing them when they get out. So we do resume building, we do free tax service for them inside. So I have right now, we started in August, and I have 30 guys that I have that with, and 15 guys are doing taxes with us that we do. We also do Bible studies if they would want to participate. They don't have to. But we do resume building, mock interviews, and get them ready to transition outside. And then we help them job placements and stuff. What kind of grants would you guys be able to help with that?
Well, the Riverside County Housing Workforce Solutions has a prison to employment funding opportunity, but I can get your contact information and we can talk further about other resources. And then there are other different partners who are recently funded by the California Workforce Board that equally are focused on formerly incarcerated or justice-involved individuals. And then there's a number of other different programs that we're looking to generate resources to support formerly incarcerated and justice involved.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? In the back and then up here and then.
Yeah, hi, my name is Minji. I started a nonprofit in 2015 called The Love Story, and it's creative writing for mental health through expressive writing. Um, it's been operating virtually, but I'm looking into um, launching the program with partnership schools. That being said, um, I currently don't have any partners yet in Riverside County. It's mostly in LA County, but should I still like start looking for partners here prior to submitting for the grant, or should I say in the grant, like with this grant, we're going to partner with this and this other nonprofit in Riverside County?
And one of the requirements to be able to apply is to be a nonprofit that's operating in Riverside County. So that would be the only challenge. So if you've been doing work, and especially if you've been doing work in the second district, then you would be eligible to apply for the direct financial support.
Okay, so I have to first operate and
Yes.
then apply, which is ironic because then how do you operate without the funds? But anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, nonprofits outside of Riverside County are not eligible to apply. But I think building your own capacity to apply for other future funding opportunities, I think, would be really important.
Okay.
I know there's a question up front. There's a couple questions up front.
Yes, in the first round of funding for the nonprofit County of Riverside grants, the programic grants were a minimum of $50,000.
150.
They were max.
Yeah, that was the max, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, for the COVID financially affected, it was a minimum 150 or maximum 150, and then the programic, I believe, were a minimum of 50,000. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so. It was a range.
Oh, it was
So
a range.
so for instance, you might have requested 150 in funding, but after competitive review, we have a team that looks over the applications. They might have given you 90,000 or 100,000. So that's where the difference might have been. You might have asked for 150 and been awarded 90. So we say within minimum and max.
Okay, so for this second round, then the minimum for programic funding is still 50,000.
Yeah, probably within that range.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still looking.
Okay, thank you.
Some questions.
Hello, my name is Ipiani Lockhart, and I work for Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. I just want to first and foremost say thank you for this opportunity and this information. And I also want to shout out the sister because we work with the justice impacted community as well. So it's great to hear that there are resources allocated to uplift that community. My question is more so, I love the amazing opportunity with the Academy and the grant writing workshop, but I know that throughout the Inland Empire we have so many needs, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of great ideas for nonprofits. I was wondering, does Riverside County offer anything as far as helping people construct nonprofits, the ins and the outs, all the nuts and the bolts on how to go about creating a nonprofit in the first place?
Both you all do some.
Yeah,
You
but
wanna
I can
share?
let Jessica go.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, I think that's going into the goal of the Nonprofit Academy in the long run. We know there's a lot of people. We know that having back office support, especially with the roundtable, has pointed that out. Having the back office support, helping people get off on the right foot and to build the foundation and to build the structure properly from the beginning is a lot easier than trying to come back and correct things later on. So I don't believe we have anything formally, but it is the goal in the long run.
And I know Denisha has, but I would say also that we really, I know in LA County, they have what's called incubators, and these are for small or developing nonprofits. So they walk you through the entire process of how to apply, how to select your board, and then they also serve as a fiscal agent until you're fully established. So I think that both the United Way and the Community Foundation are working to do something similar. Do you want to share a little bit more?
Sure, and also one comes to mind is Academy of Grassroots, that works with nonprofits that are boots on the ground, just getting started. Susie Gomez, Inland Empire what's that other? Community Collaborative. That's another agency that works with nonprofits getting started off the ground, capacity building. So there are, as Jessica stated, resources out there, nonprofits out there that working with nonprofits that are just wanting to get started. So definitely we can connect and provide you with those resources. Mhm.
And again, I'm Hilda Cruz with Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. It says interfaith, but we work with people who have been impacted by justice and have a loved one either in jail or immigrant detention facilities. And a lot of my work these past 10 years has been with the immigrant community. And I guess my question that I have, because I couldn't create a nonprofit back then, I decided to join Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. We are now statewide. But that has prevented us in the past from obtaining some funding at the local level because they see us as a state, even though most of my work is in both Riverside and San Bernardino counties. Is that gonna be prevent me from accessing some of the funds?
Apologies, I'm not quite sure the question as it relates to the direct financial assistance.
So it's about accessing grants for the local work that I do. Up until now, I've been funded by other statewide sources, not so much the local grant sources available here.
Organization you currently work through, if they're a nonprofit, established nonprofit.
It's an
and they
established
operate
nonprofit. I am the one. I am the regional director operating for the last 10 years and doing the work with people impacted here in these two counties. But most of our funding is from other sources who fund us up in the Bay Area.
So for the direct financial support and assistance, if you meet the eligibility criteria that we said, we're not going to look at who else is funding you. We're going to look at, do you meet the eligibility criteria? Do you have an impact, and how much are you eligible for here?
Okay.
Each grant opportunity is a little bit different, so sometimes they're local sources and sometimes they're not. Are you hoping to build those relationships to have more local funding?
That's what I've been working on, creating those local relationships. Most of the time, because I serve underpopulated and very oppressed, the immigrant community, I feel like I am overlooked. Or maybe because it's interfaith movement, the name, I feel like I'm overlooked. Yet the impact is there.
Well, hopefully you meet the criteria for the direct financial assistance, and maybe we can have that breakthrough.
Other questions? Other questions? Okay. Any final thoughts, Jessica or Denisha?
Again, with our website, we also e-blast or publicize other grant opportunities. So not just our grant opportunities, but we had a grant opportunity. We're partnered with, we have a great relationship with San Manuel, so we e-blasted their opportunity. We have a great relationship with IEHP, so we blasted their opportunity. So I say, look on our Facebook. So not only do we support and uplift our grant opportunities, but we also support and uplift grant opportunities within the region. So not just us, but other nonprofits or other funders that have grant opportunities. So I say, put us in your Facebook page.
And I just had one question since I saw the audience didn't have any other questions. Just wondering how fulfilling is these roles that you guys play in our community and making a difference? Just to hear your personal insight about the work that you guys do to help create the change throughout our community.
I love the fact that being able to work with a lot of different nonprofits because inevitably grant making, especially in a region that's underfunded and doesn't have a lot of sources, it can feel extremely competitive. And so being able to, in my work is doing the grant making, is trying to change the way that is working with the grant seekers and being very open and transparent and helpful and trying to educate for the long term to have open lines of communications and do what we can there. And then, of course, we can't do anything. None of us can do anything. We all have different relationships in the community. We all have different goals and things and expertises. So really finding ways that everybody can be working together, because when we work together, it's going to help the community as a whole. So some funding opportunities are just competitive. There is limited funding. We have to do it. But as long as we can make the environment feel more collaborative, we can partner together and then we all win versus viewing each other as competition. So that's why I like being able to do this. And I think we've taken a lot of good steps moving in that direction.
And I would say, having served as executive director of several different nonprofits, I understand how difficult the work is, and it's overworked, under-resourced, and sometimes not appreciated. So you all do an essential job. Your work is critically important, and I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to further contribute to the nonprofit sector. And the reality is, going back to the fact that the county, one of the largest funders of nonprofits, to all the various different county departments are the nonprofit, is the county itself. So you all help to advance the board's priorities and our departmental priorities. So you play an essential backbone role in moving forward the work in the region. I'll turn it over to Denisha.
Sure. Moments like these is where it kind of all comes to circle for me, getting to meet and the nonprofits face to face, because sometimes it is paper. You know, we look at applications and we read you, but to have these moments where we can talk and present in front of you, and then also have you come up and say, hey, I was an awardee. That's what we like to look for to hear. And no, I wasn't an awardee, but hey, let's see what we can do to work out and make your application the next time a little bit supportive or better. But it's getting a chance to meet the nonprofits that are doing the work. You guys are here, you're doing it, you're helping our communities thrive, and we want to uplift those opportunities and keep you guys going, that sustainability effort. A lot of times we don't have those open opportunity grants where they're unrestricted, and we're working on that, because with those unrestricted grants, you can do what you need to do. And we're also kind of pushing this trust-based philanthropy, where we're trusting our nonprofits. As you guys are doing the work, we want to fund you and trust that you're doing what you're doing. So within that, we're trying to push into that trust-based philanthropy, as well as we're pushing into that vital conditions and civic belonging and belonging. So it's a lot happening within the philanthropy world, and we want to bring you guys right along with us as best as we can. So opportunities like this where you can network. I know you were talking about how do I find other people. It's opportunities like this where you can co-convene and network with other nonprofits within the region and link up and maybe go in together for a grant opportunity, and we can uplift you guys both at the same time. But I love what I do. I see my friend Erin in the background, but being able to just work with the community and see you guys thrive and move forward is the ultimate goal. So thank you for this opportunity as well.
If there's no final questions, I do again want to excuse me, encourage you to take advantage of there's one more question over here.
Thank you. I'm Marilyn Obermeyer from Bethany Lutheran Church in Norfolk, 501c nonprofit. We don't need. Oh, you know what? It's because I have my. Hold on. Oh, here. Let me. Okay, maybe you can hear me better. I'm Marilyn Obermeyer from Bethany Lutheran Church in Norco, nonprofit 501c. We don't need funds for our church to operate. We've been very fortunate through COVID, but we obtained grants for CityNet, which is an organization where we made homeless kits for the police officers. They give them to the homeless. We're currently working on, we've received $3,500 in grants for the Heart Closet in Corona, which helps foster and underprivileged kids, high school kids mostly, and their families. But we wouldn't be eligible to apply for a grant for another project when we don't need it for our organization. Am I correct?
If you qualify and you're eligible, then you're eligible to apply and receive funding. I mean, yeah, or if you're serving as a fiscal sponsor as well.
Yeah.
A fiscal sponsor if you're supporting other, maybe a developing nonprofit or someone else. But I would definitely consider looking into it. Again, both United Way and the Community Foundation, they're exceptional in terms of their follow-through. If you have additional questions, they'll be setting up office hours to just walk in detail through the application process. And again, our goal is to get the resources out to you to help you continue to do all the great work you have. If you have any questions for the three of us, we'll still be up here. And again, thank you for showing up and have a wonderful day and be safe.